Hey everyone, this is Ellie Mae with Swift Creek Customs, and in today's video I'm going to share with you how you can export from the Siser Leonardo Design Studio software. It is a pro feature to export as file types, but I will be sharing with you how to export as a PNG. It is super simple in the Siser software, and I have as my example the new Easy Transfers from Siser. These are DTF prints. And I spent some time creating designs in Siser Leonardo Design Studio specifically for exporting and printing some tests with the new Siser DTF print option. So I'm also going to share a glimpse of that at the very end. Here is a look at several of these prints as I was unboxing them, and when I cut them apart, these all came on one roll with the Siser Easy Transfers. I did create gang sheets for this. So that means several designs on one sheet. When I tested it, it was a max of 22 inches by 22 inches when you upload to the Siser uploader for the DTF prints. So that is what I created my gang sheets at, and I'm going to show you how you can export the PNG files. You do want them exported at 300 DPI, and it is going to make a difference what you are starting with. If you are starting with low resolution images from the very beginning, you are not going to have a high print quality when you go to export, no matter what you do. So you do need to keep in mind that to use high resolution images from the start. 72 DPI is what is used for internet quality. It is condensed and it is smaller formats for viewing on the internet. It does not have to be high resolution. So it's not as easy as just grabbing an image from the internet to be able to print at high quality. You want at least 300 DPI for high resolution print quality. So that is what I created, and I'm going to share how I did that in this video. Now, over in the Siser Leonardo Design Studio software, you do need the Pro subscription in order to export as any file types, including PNG files. So I do have Siser Leonardo Design Studio Pro. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to show you the entire process. If you don't want this step-by-step, speed up the video by clicking on the little settings. You might miss something, but you can always rewind it. I'm going to go through step-by-step on creating a file for printing. So I did create several of my own files to do this with in the testing process. I'm going to choose open, and I have drawn several brushstroke designs in Procreate actually. Then I sent them to myself and I created an SVG file out of that. I'm going to open my own brushstroke SVG file. I'm going to choose cut only, and I want a cut on this because I'm going to fill it with a pattern. If you are opening a PNG brushstroke image that is tracing around it, you do want to open it as a print and cut. When you get that option, you do need the cut lines in order to fill a shape with the pattern. If you do open a PNG file and you open it as a background, that's the second option you'll have on a PNG file. A PNG is a square file image. If it's not traced around it, you won't have those cut lines to fill in the exact PNG image of it. You'll get a square when you go to fill that. So I just want to mention that as well. So here's my cut only. I'm just going to choose next. This is an SVG. I've already made it into an SVG. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a pattern. So I have my folder open. I'm going to bring that over onto my screen and show you how I can fill this with a pattern. And I will also link videos in the description below on pattern fill and how I work with the patterns. So I just have my Windows folder where I have this file saved. I am using a blue marble design. It's actually created for a Tumblr. You do want to make sure that it is a high resolution image, which it is in this case. So I'm going to bring this in onto my design mat. When I bring it in, it's going to give me some options, and I'm going to open this design as a background image. I don't need it to have a cut line around it because I'm actually going to use it to fill the design. So background image, 300 DPI. I'm going to choose next, and it's going to bring it in at the size of the image that it originally, if you choose 300 DPI. This is going to work for my file. You can notice that when I bring it in as a background, it does add it as a print and cut job. I don't necessarily need that. So I'm going to turn those print and cut lines off right now. Now here's my original image. I can kind of place this, but what I want to do is I want to choose, right click and choose send to back. And then I can place my PNG file where I want it on top, or my SVG file, my brush stroke design. And then I'm going to left click and I'm going to drag across both of these. And in the bottom toolbar, I'm going to choose the intersect tool. That is going to add the pattern to my shape. So here is my image. Now at this point, because I have the image where it's at, I don't want to scale this up. So you do want to work with the original size that you want this to print at. For myself, this is about the size of a design, a little over 9 inches wide, that I would create for myself. So I'm going to leave it at this. If you are working with a larger image that you are working with, I would probably get a digital pattern that is 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels. That is at least 12 by 12 size, and that's at the high resolution. So all of these details, keep in mind when you are creating the PNGs, because if I were to enlarge this, it could pixelate it because there's no way it's recalculating the data of that digital file. So you do have to keep in mind the files that you are starting with and working with. Now I'm simply going to come down here to my text tool. I'm going to type out the word create. It's what I use a lot of the time for my teachings and designs because it's very simple to use. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to choose a font that is Hello Friend Brush Script. And I will also put that in the links in the video description below as well. So I'm going to choose, I have auto weld selected. I'm going to choose apply. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create this, let's change this color a little bit of that create so you can see it. We'll give it a obnoxious, there we go, the purple. And this is just depending on what your style is. I'm actually going to rotate this a little bit so that I don't have to put this straight on a shirt. Now you could simply send this as it is. I actually kind of like the colors contrasting each other. You can change your colors. If I extend the properties panel here, you can come in and you can do different color selections. If you are cutting, you're going to cut whatever colors are on your cutting mat. If you are printing, you will need to keep in mind the colors that you want this to be with print. And you can come in to click on this little square in the properties panel and you can actually change your hex codes. So you could select a color very specifically for that. Click apply and then it's going to change that color here. Let's I'll just simply change this one. We'll choose this color here. Click apply. Oops, I didn't have anything selected. Have to have something selected first. Click the little button and then select the color you want and apply. And it's going to change that. So that doesn't stand out very much. I'm going to Control Z to put the color back. And then I am going to left click, select out both of these, and I'm going to align them. Most times it doesn't really look right to me. This time it is just a little bit low. This is just everybody's personal preference. So here is a very simple design that could be sent as a DTF print or any other, I use at home the Siser Easy Color DTV. It works well for me when I follow the instructions. That would be what you use for a home printer. When you are working with a larger quantity or you have a really intricate graphic or you're making 100 shirts, it just depends on the situation on whether you would order DTF or you would use your home printer to print at home. You want to make sure it's a high resolution image no matter what you are printing, whether that's being sent out somewhere or you are doing it yourself. So I can simply send this, export it as a PNG file. The first thing I would recommend though is I'm going to come up to File and I'm going to save it as a Leonardo Design Studio file. So I have an original copy that is with my text in there. So I'm just going to do this as a create demo. And you could add a pattern to the create as well. It just takes it a few seconds to save that, but save your original files. So if you ever want to come back to it and adjust things, or something happens to your saved PNG file, you know, always good to have copies of your files. When you have your design how you like it, you're going to left click, drag across everything on your screen, the entire design, and then come up here to File and Export Artwork. And then I'm going to select, I have selected artwork only because I selected it on the screen. I'm going to use just the selected artwork. So if I had anything else on my design file, I don't want that saved with just my design. So I'm going to choose selected artwork only. I want the resolution to be 300 dpi, at least 300 dpi. That's what I tested it at, so that's what I'm going to use. And then in this file format, the drop-down box, you can choose the different options. Again, this is a Siser Leonardo Design Studio Pro feature. And then I'm going to choose PNG image, and it's going to save. It's going to pop up a window where it asks me what I wanted to save the name as. So I'm going to say create demo video shirt. I name it the same thing. It is a PNG file versus an LDS file. I'm going to click enter, and it's going to save that file. So if I bring in, you'll see my organization here. Let's see where I saved it at. I think it'll bring it in here. I'm just checking my files before oh, yep. Here we go. Okay, you can kind of see a little bit. You can see all of the different things that I have. Easy transfers information here. This is my actual working folder that I'm working on for the videos and blog posts. So you can see over here, here is my create. This is the Siser file, LDS file. And then this is the PNG file. So if I double click on this, it'll open on my Windows, just my Windows viewer. And here is the actual PNG file. Now I'm kind of wishing I didn't send this one. I'll have to save this one. I can send it on my next order. I may play around with the pink color a little bit, but it does stand out quite a bit. And it just really depends on you who are designing it, who you are designing it for, if it's yourself, if it's someone else. But that is how you can save it as a high resolution PNG image from the Siser Leonardo Design Studio software. Now, I'm going to go through just the quick steps of how you upload this. If you are creating a gang sheet, I still save the original file on its own file. And then if I'm creating a gang sheet from my testing currently in the Siser upload process, 22 inches by 22 inches is your max for your gang sheet. For me, that was about 4 full front designs for a shirt. It would just depend on the size of design. So let me show you how I did that in the Siser Leonardo Design Studio software. Once I figured out what the maximums were, because I was getting, if you upload something larger than that, it scales it down under that, so my sizes were off. That's how I figured it out. So 22 inches by 22 inches was the upload maximum. I created a new document, so I have my original files all saved individually. I'm going to come over here to the artboard, and I'm going to change it to material roll. I'm going to set this at 22 inches by 22 inches. So then this is the size that I currently have for my gang sheet. And I can go ahead and I can just save that as even a gang sheet template if you wanted to. And then you can open that up. If you save it as a template, then I would then choose File, Save As, and gang sheet, I don't know, create one. And then what I can do, what I did, I just copied this design, I group it together, Control C, Control V, and I pasted that onto my design mat. And then I'm going to just use this as an example, and I can select it, Control C, Control V, or add your other designs onto your design mat. And I can select two, since I'm just going to use this as an example. I can't quite fit all of them onto the 22 inches. So you want to keep that in mind. With the Siser upload, as you'll see here in just a second, you are paying by the square inch. So you can just, I mean, it's going to be the same price whether you send these individually or if you send them as a gang sheet. It's just a matter of how many you can upload at one time. So you could scale these down if you wanted to and create decals with them. You could add in fillers here, or in this case, delete them. And if you don't have designs to fill up that space, come over here, select everything, and then this is going to be what you export. So right now it currently is at 15 inches, 0.338 by 18.4. And I'll go ahead and I'll save this, file, export. First, let's save it. It's going to take it a second. File, export artwork, selected artwork, 300 DPI, PNG image. So this would be a gang sheet upload. I'm going to choose save, and then let's see, create shirt demo gang sheet. Now I'm going to pop over into the Siser uploader for the DTF. Check out the links in the video description below. I have linked it specifically for my affiliate account there, so you can go ahead and click on that to go directly to the uploader. Now, if you use my link below, you will be taken automatically to the uploader itself. If you go to siserna.com/easy-transfers/ let me say that one more time. siserna.com/easy-transfers/ as shown here in the top web address. You can select the looking to purchase through an affiliate area, and then you are taken over to the affiliates. You can see my name right here is Swift Creek Customs. Go ahead and click on Swift Creek Customs, or if you use the link in the video description below, you will automatically come to this page, and it will be under my affiliate account. So here, very simply, it is so easy. Upload design, it tells you exactly at the top. Upload design, they print and ship, heat applied to the shirt. You're going to click the upload here, and I'm going to show you uploading both of those that we just created. Find your file that you created. So here is the first one. We'll open the single PNG first. I'm going to click on that, choose open. It's going to process that. While it's processing, I'm going to jump back over here to my Siser software, go to the original file, and make sure it's selected. I'm just going to verify the sizes, 7.68, 9.15. So you can see this. So here, 9.16, 7.68. So the file is the same size. You want to verify that. Wherever you are submitting your images at, if you are in charge of this. Once you submit it, you have agreed that that is the size you want. So I verified in the software that was the size of my image. I verified that it came into the uploader correctly. And then also it will tell you the DPI of it, tells you the price of it as well. So you can see that it is, what price you are paying for that. Now, if I jump back over to the original page that I was on for Easy Transfers, it tells you 0.06 cents per square inch. So that is how the amount is calculated. So it doesn't matter if you're uploading a single image or a gang sheet, you're being charged by the square inch, whichever one you upload. You do have some options down here, and I will link additional information that's on the Siser page about resolution, all the details regarding the DTF. So you can sharpen edges, you can choose a white outline, you can choose soft edges. Each one's going to be a little bit different. Make sure to select that as you desire. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose the save option. It's going to save it to my cart. Now, I'm going to go through the process and show you the gang sheet. So upload, I'm going to choose the gang sheet with the 4 designs that I created. And then while it's uploading, I'm going to bounce back to the software and I'm going to verify 15.338, 18.4. And if I go back, it's still processing. The larger the design, it has to upload that to their site. So 18.4, 15.3, just verify, yep, that is exactly the same size that I created it at. 300 DPI, 16.92 is the price. So the other one was $4 and something, if I had to go back. So 4 designs times 4 is $16. So it just depends on the size of your design. Choose save, and then you have your designs. So it really just depends on what you are creating. The reason I ordered gang sheets in the beginning was originally the uploader would only allow you to upload 7 images. I believe now, because I submitted feedback and they listened and changed it right away, because I am a crafter. I'm coming at this from a crafter's perspective, not a seller. So I am not ordering 100 of the same images. I want to be able to use this for my personal use, or if I'm creating shirts like for a family gathering or something like that. So I'm coming at it from a perspective of a crafter who would submit individual designs. And that's what my mindset was when I first started this. And then it took a little bit of time, a few days went by, and somebody suggested a gang sheet. So that's when I went down the road of the gang sheet. So I actually have both of the information here for creating that. Whatever is going to work for you and be the best method for you. Here's actually, it shows me the price still, $4.22 versus the 16.92. And you could kind of work with that with your designs. Let's see what happens when I click on this. The closer you put your designs, just make sure that you have room to cut through and you're not cutting into the design. So you can kind of tighten that up a little bit, probably 2 if you wanted to, and save a little bit of money, a few cents, and some space. But keep in mind, the closer you put those together, sometimes it will take you longer to separate those, and that time is money. So here is a look at a couple of the test prints that I have pressed. Follow the instructions specifically for the Siser DTF for the time and the pressure that you are using, and make sure that you are that your heat press is accurate. So I will link in the video description below the temperature gun that I use for my press because it tends to run hot. I have melted DTF prints in the past, and you don't want to do that. It gets to be kind of messy. So make sure that you are using the correct time, temperature, and pressure for your DTF Easy Transfers. Now, exporting as a PNG file from the Siser Leonardo Design Studio software is very easy to do, and it has yielded some very nice PNG files to work with. As you can see, I have pressed a couple of different designs here. They are going on fabulous. I have my box of shirts. I have my additional transfers, but make sure to check out the information from Siser on the DTF prints. You do not have to print these or press these immediately. I believe it says up to 1 year that you can keep them if they are stored in a safe and dry area. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to mix and match my shirt colors with my different DTF prints and see what works best for me for my shirts. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video and have a great day.